It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Newell, and today we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Braunwyn Wyndham Burke is still speaking out regarding why she was fired, why she thinks she was fired, how her co-stars felt about her, and she was sued for one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Guys, before we get started, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, let's jump right in. Braunwyn recently did an interview and she was talking about how there's a lot more to the reason she was fired than she actually understands. Now, we've talked about this since day one. Braunwyn has said before, I don't understand how Bravo stood behind me when I was going through one of my darkest moments of my life, sobriety, coming out, navigating my family. But then the moment that I feel like I'm coming right over the hill and getting into a better place, I'm experiencing a healthy lesbian relationship. I'm doing so well now. Bravo decided to pull the plug. Well, she did talk to another housewife of the Real Housewives of Dallas, Carrie Brittingham, and Carrie tried to help her understand a little bit as to why she was probably fired. Carrie was letting her know, listen, you had a lot going on and maybe too much. For Braunwyn, this kind of resonated a little bit. She's like, you know what? Maybe I did have a little bit too much going on. And maybe that's just it. Maybe I was just too much for Bravo. Now, getting back to it, Braunwyn did kind of explain what it's like to be in the Bravo world. And she said, when you're a part of Bravo, you kind of get sucked in. You forget that there's a whole other world out there, and it's just who you become. Now, at the end of the day, I can attest to this a little bit. After being around some of the Vanderpump Rules cast members and a few other people who have been immersed into this Bravo world, they've all kind of confirmed, yes, when you're a part of it, it becomes your life. You're not only doing appearances, but you're on the show. You have to make your life about the show. You have to pre-plan your storylines for the upcoming season. You make this job technically your life. And for Braunwyn, that's exactly what she was doing, and maybe just a little bit too much. She also explained that some of her former castmates really did not like her. And she said from the moment that she stepped in, and not the moment, but a movement started because she came in saying and expressing that she wanted to, really push social justice. Now, she even said that one of her former cast members said, that's not what we do here on this show. But for her, she said that was important to me then, and still not being on the show, it's still important to me now. She also said that she kind of understands what the castmate, and she didn't give us a name, but what the castmate was referring to, because she said, look at the Real Housewives of New York City. Their ratings are down, and it's probably because this is a topic that might be too heavy for the housewives. Okay, Braunwyn, we see you. Now, getting back to why she was fired, she still says, I don't really know. And she said that she hasn't asked. She said maybe one day she'll reach out and ask. But as of right now, what's the point? Because it's not like it's going to change the decision of Andy, Bravo, or the network. I mean, we all have our ideas of why she was fired. And I think Bravo saying, listen, you had too much going on, and them telling her, like, I think that this wasn't the healthiest platform for you for everything that you did have going on. You need to focus on your family. Sure, that could be one reason, and it's a valid reason. But at the end of the day, I think after it came out that she allegedly offered an illegal substance to Shannon Beador's at the time minor daughter, yeah, that was probably a big factor, because when it came about, she didn't deny it. She didn't deny it on, the reunion. She just started crying and saying, I'm sorry. Now, her husband, Sean, did try to stick up for her a little bit and say, listen, part of being an AA is accepting responsibility and apologizing for it and not trying to dismiss it and say, no, that didn't happen. However, when I look at it and I think about it in this way, I'm like, I understand AA and having to accept ownership and responsibility for your actions. But at the end of the day, if someone accused me of allegedly offering some sort of illegal substance to a minor, there's no way I would accept responsibility for that unless it happened. First of all, it would never happen, but I would not accept responsibility for something that is that insane, that crazy, because that could affect me, my family, my future. And I think that's exactly what happened. We also know that Braunwyn Wyndham Burke has been sued, and she was sued in an eviction lawsuit. And she said that she found out the same time that we all found out through the headlines. She said, obviously, she feels like shit about it, but honestly, nothing surprises her at this point, because she tried to explain to us that when you're a public figure, you get sued a lot. It kind of comes with the territory. She also said that Sean Burke was in a fender bender previously, and a year later they got hit with a lawsuit because she thinks in her mind, when people find out who you are and they think that you might have a little bit of money, why not sue you? I can kind of see that, kind of. Okay, but hold on. One of the most outlandish lawsuits that I've ever heard in my life was the fact that Braunwyn is saying she was, sued for kissing Tamra Judge on screen. Now, season 14, she was with Tamra Judge and we saw them. They made out, they pulled out their boobs, they did all kinds of crazy stuff in order to get the cameras going, get them excited. And Braunwyn's claiming that someone sued her for it. But my big question is, who would have sued you for that? Is somebody really that desperate and thirsty to sue you for kissing one of your co-stars on camera? And what would that lawsuit even look like? I don't get it. Now, for Braunwyn, she said that there is a life after Bravo. So she's going to continue to move forward with her life, navigate what this new life looks like. And who knows? She hasn't trashed the network, so she technically could be asked back in the future. It's really up to the network. We've seen this before. As the housewives make their exits, it's really based upon how they exit as to whether or not they ever get invited back. Heather Dubrow, for example, when she left, she decided to part ways with the network. The network thought it was a good idea. She thought it was a good idea. And she no longer thought she was in the right place. She thanked the network, Bravo, and Andy for her time on the show. And then she peacefully walked away and never had one bad thing to say about the show. However, if you look at somebody else like, NeNe Leakes, who's left the show, NeNe completely dragged the network through the mud. And NeNe just said that she felt like there were certain behaviors and certain things that she exhibited on or within the network that didn't make her happy. Not trying to take anything away from NeNe, because if that's how you feel, then obviously that's a problem and you should address those things. But for NeNe, by addressing those and slamming Andy Cohen and the network, yeah, that's probably not going to get you a seat back on the bench. But however, if that wouldn't have happened right now, Real Housewives of Atlanta, they need NeNe Leakes more than ever. They really need somebody like NeNe to come back in and save the show. The ratings are down for Atlanta as well. And this would have been the perfect time for her to make a comeback. And she was getting paid so much money for it. At the last season that she was filming, she was making reportedly about $2.4 million for the season. And that's not, chump change. That's a lot of money. That can pay off your house. That could pay off so many things. And all you have to do is go around, read these women up and down for filth, tear them apart, put them back together, make nice, have conflict, and then have resolution. It's not that difficult. And listen, I know what you're probably thinking. You're saying it's not difficult, but who the hell are you? Have you ever been a housewife? No, I haven't. But I would just imagine going on lavish trips and filming with a group of women, even if you don't like some of them, for $2.4 million, yeah, I would probably commit to that. When it comes to Braunwyn Wyndham Burke talking about, her time on the show and social justice and saying that, she doesn't necessarily understand why Bravo let her go, I'm just curious if you guys agree that she wouldn't really know, because Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, she did do an interview saying, Braunwyn had some other stuff going on behind the scenes that the whole cast started to learn about. There were some very dark things happening behind her walls and nobody talked about them. And we still haven't talked about them. So if they knew, the cast members, then producers obviously knew, which Braunwyn knows. And it kind of seems like maybe she's trying to put us off a little bit and not really let us into what exactly that dark place or spot was. However, at the end of the day, her job as a mom is to protect her family. So if something was really going on that was disturbing or putting their family into a dark place, whatever Elizabeth Lynn Vargas is accusing them of, it makes sense that she would want to protect her family and not necessarily share that. I just don't understand why you would go on and pretend like you don't know why you were let go from the show. Also, what do you guys think about Braunwyn and allegedly getting sued for kissing Tamra on screen? Is that not the dumbest thing that you've ever heard? Guys, you have to comment below. Happy Sunday. Go ahead, let me know what your thoughts are. And I just want to say, I've been listening to you guys on my intros, on how I'm starting my videos, on some of the things with the sound. I'm working on all of it. I'm going to make sure everything gets better. It's time for us to do an overhaul and an upgrade. So that's exactly what we plan to do. If you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell, because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.